Good evening, everyone. Yesterday we were starting about what is meant by object-oriented programming in Python, right? So we'll just recollect what we have done yesterday. Okay, so we just saw the basic structure of an OOPS concept, right? So in general, in a OOPS, you'll be having object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, and then abstraction, which is data abstraction and encapsulation, right? So we just had some example yesterday, like if you are going with an address, you'll just mention first your country, then your state, and then your district, and so, right? So this is the basic structure of an OOPS concept. Okay, then we went on what is meant by OOPS. Okay, so what really an OOPS concept does. Okay, so instead of writing an entire program, we can just divide it into several objects, and we can just do our programming, right? So what is the use of using OOPS concept? So if at all you use OOPS concept, so you will be defining a separate substrate object, so that your main code will not be too lengthy. So it will be obviously indeed it will be easy for you to execute, it will be easy for you to maintain, it will be easy for you to debug too, right? So that is the basic criteria behind object oriented programming. Okay, then we just went over some the basic skeleton on how we should use OOPS. So we'll be defining a class. Under the class, we'll be assigning the objects, right? So we'll be calling the function to self initiate. So we'll be using init to self initiate the parameters. Okay, so we'll be giving two arguments, and the two arguments are self initiated using the input we will be given here, right? So we saw some basic examples or basics exercises on how to create class yesterday, right? So we'll just move on to polymorphism. So if anyone have any idea on how polymorphism in Python works? See, polymorphism is nothing but, see, its literal meaning of that is it's condition of occurrence in different form. You can just say a word, but it will occur in different form. Okay, so suppose we said no sound of animals. So all animals won't have the same sound, right? Cat will be doing some sound, dogs will be barking, lions will be roaring, right? So the same variable or same character we assign has different occurrence, different form of occurrence. That is we call polymorphism. Okay, so it is also a very important concept in not only Python, it's a very important concept in programming, right? I guess you might be aware that oops does not only exist in this Python, it occurs also in Java, C++, everything, right? So if you refer to a single entity, whether it may be method, operator, object, it has a multiple forms, then we'll have polymorphism. Okay, so polymorphism is very important concept. It refers to the use of single entity, whether it may be method, operator, or object, to represent different types in different scenarios, right? So here I have an example for you, right? So I have a basic man who has like influenced with other people, right? He has an own family, he has to buy his own needs, he want to work, he want to do his work, right? So he will be involved in his family too, he'll be involved in his day-to-day activities too, he'll be involved in work, he'll be involved in several activities, right? So he's single man, he has many occurrences, right? So that we called as polymorphism. Okay, so we'll just have some example, basic example, so that we can just know what is polymorphism is actually all about. Okay, so let me go back to my notebook, Jupyter notebook. Okay, yeah, so I'll just write, see, before entering that, we know, right, if we use a plus operator, what it does. See, many people can say it adds the elements, like if you say 1 plus 2, it just adds me that. No, see, it has many usage. It doesn't have a single usage. Okay, so I'll show you something. So let me just define num1 to be 1 and then num2 be 2. Okay, so if I say print num1 plus num2, if I say like that, what it will do? So here I use plus, which gives arithmetic operation, right? So here I use plus, which gives arithmetic operation. The same thing I'm going to do again using the same plus sign. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say my string 1 to be uh, Python. Okay, and then string 2 to be uh, programming. Okay, Python programming, right? So here see here, if I say print, okay, print string 1 plus, and then sorry, str2, what does it means actually? What does it means? What does it means if I just run? Sorry, if I run, I'm getting Python programming. Here I used plus, it didn't add me something it does here, right? So what it does, it say when I say string 1 plus, it prints the string 1 and it's asking, it's like it's just say it's going to add some more element, right? So what it going to add, it's we gave us free empty space here, so it just prints empty space. Here plus again, what it add. So here we can see this plus symbol again, what indeed did, he just combined the strings, what are the strings I gave as input, it just combined, right? So you can see that the single operator plus has been used to carry out different operation for distinct data types. If it is an integer, it will, what it does, it adds the integer. If it is a string, it will combine the string. You're getting that? For different data types, it is getting different thing. If it is an int, what it does, it just adds the integer. If it is an if it is a string, it just combines the string. You're getting that? We will just went with plus. You can ask, okay, only plus is like that. Is plus only exhibit polymorphism in Python? No, we can do a number of things. I'll just show you another example. So let me print a function. Okay, let me print. I'm going to say count how many things in my letter. Okay, alphabet. Sorry, alphabet. Okay, it's going to print how many letters in alphabet. So this is a string, right? So in the next line I'm going to give uh, len. Here I use the string, I just use a len function to count how many elements in a string, right? So the same thing here, I'm going to count a list. Okay, so I'm going to, for a list, what we'll be doing, square braces, right? Square braces, Python, then comma, and then sorry, alphabet, and then program, right? I just created list. Next I'll get another example. I'll lend, first we lend a string, then list. Next what we can do, we'll make a dictionary. Okay, we'll say name, then John. Okay, so then his address His address. Okay, his address, baby Chennai. Okay, so what I did here, I just use the same function len. So here I am using string, here list, here dictionary. So I use the same function, but I am getting different output. What is the different output here? You are saying different output, but everything is an integer. You can ask. But see, in first line, when I use len for a string, it just count me how many letters are there in the my string, right? So it count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? The same len function, when I use on a list, it didn't count every element. It just say how many elements are there. 1, 2, 3, 3 elements. The same len you use, it didn't print, it didn't say how many things are there. It just said how many keywords are there. Name and address. 2 keywords are there. You getting that? So this is the basic thing. Okay, let me head back to my presentation. I use the len. I use the len. When I use len to a string, what it does? It just gets me the length of the string, right? When I used for a list, it just print me number of items in the list. The same way, when I use the same len function, it just me how many keywords I have. Same function I did, but different attributes I had. This is what we call it as. This is what we call it as a polymorphism, right? So, as I said, it is if we knew something also, Python exhibits polymorphism. Okay, so we should be aware like for which data type this operator or if it is an operator or a method or an object, how it reacts to that data type. You should be aware of that. Okay, we can see in particular we can use the concept of polymorphism while creating class methods, as Python allows different classes to have different methods with same name. We can just mention same name, but while calling that based on the data types, it will just reassign it. Okay, I'll just show you an example out of it. Okay, so let's create a class again with the name cat. Okay, so as a conventional form, we just say we'll start a class with a capital letter, right? Yeah. So what I'm going to do now, okay, so I just created a class. What I'm going to do, I'm going to initiate some value. Okay, so let me write the function for init. What I'm doing, to underscore init. People are asking, they just mention one underscore on both sides and they say, sir, I'm getting error. But if you use two underscore, that is only to initiate the value. I'm giving self. For cat, what will be saying, name of the cat and age of the cat. We'll give both two arguments as input. Okay, so the next line, we just mentioned self, so by default what value should be assigned. So what I'm going to do, self dot name is equal to name I get input. Okay, in the same way, self dot age is what I gonna input as age. Okay, so I have a function here. Okay, so I had initiating a function by self with a name and a age, so it gets assigned, sorry, dot. Okay, so the very next thing what I should do, okay, so I have a class here. So in class cat, if I say cat, it just I will be inputting to name and age, right? So after getting that, it should print. Okay, it should print, it should what it should print, let me call the function to be information about that. Okay, so it is also self. Okay, when I call this, it just want to print me. We'll use f string or dot format. We'll use f string. Okay, so f string, I am a cat dot. Okay, my name is, since we use f string, we should enter the value, corresponding value inside the curly braces, right? So my name is what you should get, self name, right? Self dot name, and then my name is this, I am, and then self dot age is old. Okay, so what I did, I have a class named cat where I'll be initiating with a name and age. So once it is initiated, it just prints I am a cat. Okay, let me close this. I'm a cat, and my name is this, and my age is this. Okay, so if this is cat, okay, so I'm going to write another class here. So yesterday we were seeing single class, right? So I'm going to initiate another class. Before that, I'll just say, and I'll create another thing also. My sound, okay, my sound be this also self. If you are not familiar with what is self, I'll just explain you. Okay, self. Okay, print how cats make sounds. It says mew, right? Okay. So the entire thing, I'm just going to create another class. Okay. So let me take another animal, which is a dog. Okay, dog. Okay, so I'll be getting name and the age, self insert. So I'll be printing what? I'll be printing dog. I'm a dog. I'm a dog, right? So I'll be printing again self name, right? I'll not say meow. I'll say bark. I'll do barking, right? So this is the thing. Okay, so what is the thing here? Also I use self name, self age. Here also I use self name, self age. But here the point that depending upon the class, the self name will be assigned to it. You are getting that? So if I just assign this value, if I call self name, it won't say use this values here. It will assign these values only here. Even though both are same, both have same name, it won't print this. It won't, for here it won't print from here, for here it won't print from here. It will just get from this class. It will see which class it belongs to. Okay, so same name, same method, same attribute we are using, right? Self.name, self.name, but based on the thing, it has different forms. See, if I just update it and I'm saying going to give an input, okay, cat1, okay, is equal to, what I should do, call the class, and then I should input two things, name and age. Name might be kitty, okay, and then its age to be 2. Okay, let the dogs, yeah, dog 1 to be dog class. The dog class, dog's name, let it be Fluffy. Okay, and then its age to be something around 4. Okay, see what I see what I did here. So I just initiated the values, right? I'm going to, if I just run now, see what I'm getting. I didn't get anything. It just get updated. It just, for this it get updated. But what we should do, we should run a loop first. Okay, see, before we were using single thing, so when it does, it this. Okay, but here we have many n number of classes, so we just gave input also, but it doesn't give me any output. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say for loop for animal in cat one comma dog one. Okay, what and all it should be animal, sorry, animal dot, mm, what I will do, animal dot my sound, what I'll give my sound to be so and so, and then print animal, this function I printed, and then next what I will print, I will print this info dot info, print the info. Okay, and then what I should do, and then I will make I'll say animal. Okay, info my sound we did, right? I'll just say info we print. Okay, both is fine. Okay, if I run this now, it says my sound is meow. So I am a cat. My name is Kitty, and I'm 2 years old. Okay, when it runs here, I will bark. So I am a dog. My name is Fluffy. I am 4 years old. So we use self here, but it didn't. In this line, self was 2, but in this line, self was 4. Based upon that, it just modified itself. It modified itself, right? We see in depth, if you just see, you go to the program, we have created two class, namely cat and dog. They have similar structure, both have similar structure, even they have both same function name. We called the same function name info my sound, info my sound, same function name we created. However, we can see we have not created as common superclass or linked the class in any way. We didn't link anything. This is separate class, this is separate class, right? Then also we mention anything, we didn't mention any clear relation between here, but we just call with a common attribute or a common variable stating both 1 and 2, we can just get our output, right? Here no relation, but we just use the another variable, so we, without correlating that, we get our answer to be done, we make our code to be done. This is possible due to polymorphism. You're getting that? You just see the code once again, you'll understand that. I'll give you 2 minutes so that you can just note it down. Okay, so let me head back to my presentation. Okay, so what we did here, so we had a main program, we just created some parent class, child class, everything we have created, right? So out of that, okay, we, even though we just created many things, and we can correlate everything using that main function. We created many objects, many classes, even though they have same names, but they were present in different items, we didn't correlate anything, but we can just call it in our main function and our objects to be done, right? This is called polymorphism. Okay, so next what we are gonna see is inheritance. What is meant by inheritance? Inheritance is a, see, if I say, see, it's nothing but defining a new class with a little or no modification. See, if you have some class, we just created a class, right? We created a class called dog, and then we just copied it, right? So we have an opportunity to duplicate the class with no modification or with little modification, right? So that thing is called inheritance. So we, from that class, we had a class, right? Cats, like that. From that we derived an another class, which is the child class of that. Okay. So inheritance enables us to define a class that has functionality from parent class and allow us to add more, right? So we have two classes, we can just derive that and use another class based out of it. So this class is derived from its parent classes, which is base 1 and base 2, right? So without wasting much time, we'll move on to a Jupyter notebook so that we can just know. I'll just work out some basic examples so that you can see. Okay. So I'll just write the basic syntax on how to write a inheritance syntax. Okay. So I'll be calling a class then. Sorry, class. Okay. Some class, let it be some cat again. Class, and then I'll say, I'll just write something for loop or something like that. I'll write here, I'll write my body of that class, what it to be done, and then the very next line what I'll be doing, I can derive that. I have a class, I can derive that class. I can say class uh, cat duplicate. Okay, so I can derive that. Okay, using which class we am going to derive, so I'm going to use cat class, so which this duplicate of cat class. Okay, so I'm closing that. Here I'm going to say what is to be done here. Okay, this is the basic syntax on Python inheritance. You won't be getting like what is meant by inheritance like that. So don't worry if you just start working on things as like the thing polymorphism. If I just say out of words, you can't get it, but we just had a 2 3 examples so that you can just know, right? So the same thing, if we just go on with some examples, you'll be aware of what is that. Okay, so let me go with the basic example now. Okay, so let me go with a basic example to demonstrate the use of inheritance here. Okay, so obviously everyone must know, right, what is a polygon. So if we have two sides, if we have three sides, if we have sides with a figure with three or more sides, we'll be calling that polygon, right? Polygon is something like if we have more than three sides or more than three sides, we'll call as polygon, right? Is that correct or not? Polygon is nothing but if you have more than three slides, they'll be calling that as polygon, right? So I'll just write a code to describe that. Okay, here I'm going to create a class. Class name is Polygon. Okay, so I created a Polygon class. So first what I should do, I should initiate underscore underscore init underscore underscore again. So selfly I'm going to do what I'm going to give input, number of sides. Okay, this is what my input. I have only one input, number of sides. So self dot number of sides equal to number of sides. Okay, so here we just get it. Got it, right? So what I did, I just created a class. I just defined an init function, just self, and then I'm going to give a number of slides as my input argument, right? So I just defined what is my self number of slides to be the number of slides I input. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to see if I just input 3 here, I should just check. Let me write the code. I'm going to give another variable self dot sites. So I have only number of sites as my input. I'm just assigning to that selfly to that variable. I create another variable whose value is a list. Okay, what is that list all about? So we are going to say that list 0 for I in range of number of sites. Okay. So what does it means? I assigned another variable and I say it is a list. I use a square braces, so it is a list. So I'm saying 0 for 1 in the range of number of sites. What does that means? You just command it down. What does I mean? I create a list. What is that? What I did here? So let me write the entire program so it will be easy for you to guess that. Okay, so I'm going to call another function. Let me say input size. Okay, input size, it will be self again. Okay, I'm saying self dot size equal to, I'm just saying float of what value gonna input. What I will say, enter side, and then I use plus string of I plus 1. Okay, and then I use plus. Okay, when I say this is what I do gonna print. So what is that for I in range self dot in. Okay, inside I'll say let me just write a for loop out of. So I created a program out of here. So you just have, it is very, see, it is not a big thing. How we have defined, I'll just give you an overview. Okay, we just initiated some values, we created a value here, and then for that value what I'm going to do, I created another function where this value is equal to a float function where I'll be inputting some elements, enter side. Okay, I'm going to input something and I'm going to get some value which is in the range of number of slides. If that slide is, see, if that slide is more than 3, it just gives me it's a polygon, right? You just have a look at that. I'll just, you first, I'll explain to you the entire thing, but before that, before I explain, okay, you just see what you can, up to how much you can get from this. See in this code how much you can understand. Okay, I'll explain you. You just take a look, like you can, whether you can read the entire program fully or not. Okay, Can anyone just if you, what you are getting, just tell me in the chat so that I will be aware, like, okay, this topic they are struggling. Okay. Okay, see, I'll say this class, this entire class Polygon has some attributes to get number of slides, number of sites from the user, right? It just gets it and it gets stored, right? It gets stored the number of sites, right? So here it just have another thing. It just say input sites. So it's if it is we are giving, suppose consider to be, I give uh, what to say, I give a polygon side to be 5, so I'll be having 5 sides. Okay, so my number of slides will be updated to 5. Okay, so I create a sites list which called sites. So how many sites I have? So 5 sites I have. So I created a list here where I'll be creating numbers like 1 2 3 4 5. So 0 for I in range means, so it will be creating 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I have 5 sides, so I get 5 elements. So what I created a variable called sides where I have a list of number of sides I have in my polygon. Okay, so I am going to input a certain value to the sides. So I define how many elements will be in the sides list. So I'm going to get the values of that, which is the length. I'm going to give length of the side. So people user will be doing the inputting the magnitude of each side. Okay, so here what I did, here I was mentioning how many elements will be there. I'm saying my side, my this side list will have 4. If at all I just say number of slides to be 5, it will say you have 5 elements in this, and it will be just inputting 5 magnitude. It will be entering, right? So it will be running a loop. See, first it will be saying side, which side, and then it increments, then it does, right? So this is the basic thing. Okay, so this input sides, what it does, it takes the magnitude of each side and displays the side lengths. Okay, so it just gives, it takes this and it prints the magnitude of each side lengths. Suppose consider a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. Okay, so we can create a class called triangle which inherits from the class polygon. This makes an attributes of the polygon class available to the triangle class also. Okay, so we have an attribute polygon which can be inverted in triangle also. Okay, you are getting what I am saying? Or else can I just write the code for triangle also and I can just correlate the things. Yeah, people are asking. Okay, I'll write the code again. I'll just say I have polygon, I said no. I'll create another class triangle. Okay, sorry, triangle, no, triangle. So triangle, I see here I have created a class. If I want to duplicate the same contents in another thing, I can just mention a class whose duplicate I'm going to do as cat. So I'm going to duplicate the polygon. So this will be a child class of this mother or the parent code. Right? So I'm just saying this is a derived function. I'll say I'll call a function again, derive init. Okay. So let it be self. I'm not going to give any input as well. Okay. Polygon dot. If it is a triangle, how many sides I will be having? I'll be having 3, right? So I'll say 3. Okay, so what I did here, I just defined a initiative function by itself. I'm not going to give any input because if it is a triangle, it automatically has the things, right? So I just say polygon, in that polygon class initiate self In that polygon class, initiate self as number of sides to be 3. You're getting that what I am doing here? So I'm going to initiate, I'm not going to give any value here. Instead, I'm going to call the polygon class here, and I say initiate this function using self and number of sides to be 3. Okay, so I just what to say, I just initiated the polygon class here. The whole attribute is inserted here. So I'm going to find the area. Okay, define find, sorry, find area. I'm going to do here also, I'm not going to give any input, right? So let me just assign to three values, three variables to be the sides, which is self dot sides. Okay, so how, what is the area of the triangle? Area of the triangle, area of the triangle is nothing but perimeter. We can just write area of the triangle is equal to perimeter into perimeter by subtracted by sides, right? So I'll just find out its perimeter. How to find the perimeter? It's a formula, right? So let S be its perimeter, semi perimeter. Okay, S is equal to A plus B, sorry, B plus C, okay, divided by 2. It's, since it's a semi, I just divided by 2. Okay, so what will be my area? Area is equal to yes, this is a formula, so don't worry if you do unaware of this. It is a formula for finding out uh, area of the triangle using its semi perimeter. Okay, S minus B, and then S minus C power 0.5. Okay, which is square root, right? So I'll be printing the value of the area of the triangle is, I can write what I'm going to write. I should write percentage D or percentage S or percentage F. What I'm supposed to do? I'll write percentage F. What is that percentage F is? It's the area. Area. We just mentioned area only, no? Area. Okay. Right. We have mentioned, we just called it, right? We just called it. We just created another, what to say, another child child class. Okay, so we created another child class, right? So in this triangle class, which is, sorry, this is triangle, yeah. In this triangle class, we have new method. What we just insert a new method, we have polygon, means we have some methods here, but we have created another what to say, another class duplicating the polygon, yet we have another extra also, right? So we have another thing which is find area, to print the area of the thing. Okay, let me just do a sample run. Okay, let me just show you. Let me say T equal to triangle. Okay, say T dot input side. Okay, input sides to be, I'm going to input sides. Okay, T dot input sides. Okay, I'm going to input the side. So how I'm supposed to input the side? So I'll be using float. I can insert a float, right? So I can do I can, float means what? It is nothing but it has something decimals, right? So we can use a float, we can use integer, anything you can write, right? So you can just how we are going to initiate that, how we are going to tell that. Well, I'll just show you. Okay, I'll just show you a thing, a trick of top word, so that you will be understanding it easier. Okay, so I'm going to write a thing, you're going to say it is good or like it is correct or not. Okay, so I am going to say enter, where I say enter side. Okay, one. Okay, one is to three, the same I am copying here. Okay, so I'm saying triangle, no, so three sides only, three. What I did here, you people should supposed to say 3 5 4. Okay, so what I did here, I say I enter side 1 is to 3. What is that? So what function we did for inputting, when inputting the sides, how we will be saying, we will be getting a float. Okay, so we should get the input by entering this. So you should say enter side plus string is equal, plus string means we should get this thing, this number, we should mention the number, and then what corresponding we are going to enter here will be take as the value of the side. Okay, so I'm gonna run this, it gets me error. So I had a did any mistake here, enter side t input, t input, its input. It also I have enter side. You just want to make sure everything is perfect between that. Okay, you want to ensure everything is perfect between that. We have this, we have that, right? Let me just, here we just use paste here too and here too, right? What is here actually? I can, instead of doing this, it might get me. Okay. Here I'm getting error again. Line 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, I'm missing braces. So float, and then input I'm going to give enter the side. Yeah, I just got it. I run it again. Just get me the same thing. Input sides, float, float input a string. We are going to insert a string whose I plus 1 and then plus, yeah, fine. So we are going to say range of 7. Yeah, see here, instead of this I put this. I just create, no, I just created this one. What is that actually? Self, self here, self here, self here out of it. So I'm just giving input which is okay. Percentage area which is 0.2. Okay, fine. Okay, t input most of the self. Okay, if I just go with self again, self. Sorry, error self is not defined. Yeah, input size it's not a self function actually. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. If I run it, it's me an error. Track block model. So I'll just rectify this. Let me just give instead of I can mention it as point to value of this. This is the percentage area of that. Yeah, which is fine. So self it is self size is basically fine. This is all fine. So I am getting this error input size missing one attribute. So I'm doing miss some attributes. Okay, input size I said a 3. Yeah. Input size. Okay, this is not actually needed, right? This is what actually not needed. So line 2 I'm just giving inside. So I'll just look into the code. I'll let you know. Okay, don't worry about it. So we'll move on to the thing. Okay, so we'll move on to the thing. We would have assigned something wrong. That's the major thing. Okay, so I'll just look into the code. We'll be missing somewhere some things would have missed. Some triangle in it. Okay, find it. Yeah, okay, I'll just instead of wasting much time, I'll just let you know what is that thing. So we'll just come on to the last thing, which is something related to method of overriding. What is mean by overriding in the sense? So if I'm running a code, okay. So if I'm running a code, if I just override, that means I'm going to block that code and then going to override it. Is that correct? Yeah, so what I'm going to override, will be using some function. I will be overriding the thing. Okay, so I'll just try to debug this and I'll just let you know. Okay, I'll just try work on this and I'll say what is that thing. Basically it will be like somewhere I would have mentioned self. If I just go line by line I can just find it out. Okay, number of sites, base cells, it's okay. So yes, like that we can just find out nothing like that. So I'll just go look into it and I'll let you know. Okay, so you just make aware like what is mean by inheritance, polymorphism, like both. Okay, so we'll just tomorrow in tomorrow's class we'll just work on with what is inheritance. We'll just start with again simple things and I'll start again to that. Okay, so I'll just give you 10 more minutes guys so that you can just ask if you have any doubts. Okay, and meanwhile I'll just turn off my screen. Okay, if you have any doubts you try to post it in the chat box so that I can be answering that. I'll try to debug the code. Okay, yeah, self, it is self. Okay, yeah, I'll just share my screen too so that if you people can find also I can. Okay, so it is saying on the line 2 this is not there, right? So yeah, okay, see here we are, see what we give, we use input function, right? So input function if we are giving what will be that, right? That is the thing. So input means it will automatically assign a box, right? So I think, yeah, let me just reload it. Yeah, see here I just gave input, so I got a box. Instead, if it is not an input, if I just say without input, if I just give this, it will like we should enter value, enter side one is it into this, it will just get the value. Okay, so I'll say 3 and then 5 and then 4, right? I'll just say this and I'll say again, okay, t dot this sides, okay, okay. So side 1 is 3, side 2 is 2, side 3 is 3. If I ask t dot find, sorry, find area, says nothing, sorry, the area is 6. Area of the triangle whose side have AF 3, 5, 4, 6 is 6. Right? We got that right. So what mistake we did here? We just gave input as here. So we don't want to input certain slides. So it will be asking in the box. So input like that. Okay, you don't want to predefine it or something like that. Okay. So I'll just finish off that method of overriding also. Okay, in this example we saw now, in that we just say init, we are inserting init, right? Init method was defined in both classes. I was just inserting in this class and this class too. Okay, so I was initiating couple of times. I was initiating in triangle and also in polygon. When this happens, the mentioned method in the derived class overrides when this function writes. So it's initiated these values as so and so. When I here I just use initiate, it overrides this initiate, right? So we should know which thing is supposed to call them. So here when it comes to the next time, it just overrides that function. Okay, so this is what we call overriding a method. Okay, so we use the same techniques which is occurred in a different form. So if it has same values, it overrides the first one. This is called method overriding in Python. Okay, so okay guys, if you have any doubts you can just ask me. Okay, so I'll stop my screen sharing. Yeah.